So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingils.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingils here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. It's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. It's Thursday. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. on the Central Side, and almost every Thursday when we get a chance, we have Janine Avila on her own radio show. I met Janine a really long time ago, maybe a couple of years ago, when I was doing some stuff with a woman whose name is still Doris Wood, and Doris is a really good friend of both of ours. And Janine was a guest host on one of those radio shows that we did for Doris with the MLMIA when it was the MLMIA, and I had a really good time listening to Janine because I knew that she was doing the right things in home-based businesses. And then, she was doing her own thing. And then she called me up one day and she says, I'd like to come back and do some more radio shows. And I said, that would be a really great idea because, number one, I think you're super smart. I know you're really good at what you do. You have a great perspective. You walk the talk. You do the stuff that we're talking about. You're a no-nonsense type of person. You give really great advice, and that would be great. So whenever you're available, and I know sometimes you get busy, join us, and we do this, and you can hear some of the previous radio shows on buildingfortunesradio.com/Janine. Janine, for those people who need some help with spelling that, is Janine. Her last name is Avila, Avila. And we're going to let her give out the website and other sort of cool stuff as well. But Janine's been kind of busy. She missed a couple of weeks, and we are here. And I don't know how many more weeks she'll be here for the rest of the year because we're into December. And sometimes, you know how things go. The holidays kind of get crazy. So we're going to cherish all of the moments that we have with Janine Avila talking about whatever she wants to talk about today on her own radio show. So, Janine, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Peter, and that was an absolutely awesome way to introduce our show tonight, and thank you for all the nice things you always say. I really appreciate it. And the show tonight is called Holidaze, and I was so excited that I spelled it Holidaze because the holidays can be a blur, and the holidays can be I'm going to back up for a minute, and I'm just going to say, because we're talking about working from home, and that's been the theme of the show when Peter and I met, and when he talks about it, it seems like it was yesterday or 10 years ago, but it was really about 3.5 years ago, and we started doing this show probably 2.5 years ago about working from home, and then all of a sudden everybody started working from home, whether they liked it or not. They were forced to because of this crazy year we've had. And now, I know if most of you listeners are like I was when this all really started getting crazy around March and April, and we were like, oh, wow, we thought it was going to be over, and then they told us it would be over by summer because it's going to get hot and the virus is going to burn off or something. So anyway, none of that happened. And here we are going into December. And it's a different December for a lot of people. And we all know that on the heels of change, and a lot of people have had to pivot and do things differently. Some people are still working from home. Some people still have a house full of family and kids. Some people got furloughed. Some people got busier. Some people lost loved ones. Some people are sick. Some people have financial problems. And it's kind of like always that way in life, but right now there's a lot more just attention on it, and it's a fact. And then we have the holidays. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it tonight, Peter, because it can be a very different holiday season this year, and holidays can be touchy. Like for some people, they're like, I love Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah, and I love the holidays, and I can't wait to decorate. And for other people, it can be traumatic and sad, and something that they, especially depending on what you're going through or have been through, or what neuro associations or memories you have tacked on to the holidays. So I thought that tonight, I like to give 7 tips about just about anything. And I thought about some things that people could do to make your holidays more pleasurable. Like it's been a hard year. Let's do something fun. Let's make the best of it. Let's go out with a bang. Let's don't be like, ugh, let's just get through the holidays so we can get to January, because guess what? January is just because it's a new month. It's not going to be like this whole new lease on life. So let's enjoy the holidays, whatever they are for you. And even if typically they're not a pleasant time, or you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling sad, I'm going to give you some things you can do that you can change that. You can sort of just give yourself a mind shift so that you can enjoy your holidays, because you deserve that. No matter what's going on or what you've been through, there are ways to do it. So I'm going to give you just 7 simple things I know, because I've had to do that. I've gone through the holidays with the loss of loved one, or with a heartbreak, or with an illness, and things like that. And you just kind of learn things over the years, and you build emotional muscle, and then you turn around and you realize, hey, I did it and it worked, and you want to share it. I mean, that's how I operate anyway. So I want to start out by saying, don't dread the holidays. Just don't. It's just not good for you. It's not good for your psyche. It's not good for your health. And it's not good for your mindset. And it's not going to give you a big start in January. So think about your attitude, and think about the outcome you'd like to see from the holidays. What would you like December to be? We're sitting here on December 3rd, and we're rolling into the weekend. And then by next week, we're going to be right in the holiday season. So you can go into it with grace and ease and a new attitude, or you can go into it with like dread and how am I going to do it? So many of you know that I was a single mom. I still am, but my kids are all grown up. They don't live with me anymore. Thank God. But I was a single mom, and I had many years that I didn't have cash to spend on the holidays. I didn't have the money. And I'm going to share one quick story, and then I'll jump into my 7 steps. Because if that's you, if you've had a hard financial year, and even if you haven't, it isn't wise to blow a bunch of money on Christmas and then suffer in December. How's that thing go? Silver bells and then juggle bills. And that's not a good habit. And it's a time for us. We've all shifted and pivoted and had to create some new habits. So one thing I want to tell you all is that I remember one Christmas that I had like almost no money to spend on Christmas. And it was all I could do to pay my mortgage and get things done. And 7 kids, I mean, that's a lot of groceries and a lot of food and a lot of sporting equipment and things like that I had to pay. It was a rough year. And I didn't have a lot of money, but what I did have was a lot of love and a lot of creativity. And what I decided to do, because I couldn't give the kids a gift, I couldn't give them an expensive gift. I think I went to like the dollar store and I bought little token gifts. Like I bought like a deck of cards, and I'm like, you know, life is, play your cards well, you know, and things like that. I wrote little sayings, but I wrote each one of my kids a letter, and I told them that I didn't have money and that there would be times in life when they had money and they didn't have money, and but what mattered most is family and love. And I listed things about themselves, qualities about each one was, you know, very individual. And it was an interesting thing because, and I remember crying when I was writing the letters because I felt bad thinking that all I have to give, you know, are these letters. But it was a great Christmas, and the kids loved it, and they still talk about that and remember it. So something that at the time I thought was not a gift was actually a great gift. And it's because of creativity and doing nothing. I didn't not do anything. And that's what I want to say is don't not do anything. Just do something, but do something creative. And you can get simple, affordable gifts that really say, I know you. You know, if you have a kid that likes to, you know, play games, you go buy a little game. It isn't the cost of the gift. It's the love with which you give it. So I wanted to say that. and think about the outcome and just say, this year is going to be different. I am going to be in a good mood. And you might be somebody who loves Christmas and the holidays, and you're going to go through and you're just fine, but you may need to give this advice to somebody else. But I'm mainly talking to people who are looking for ideas, and probably if you're listening to this show, that's you. So number one of the 7 steps, after you've determined the outcome, is planning. And, you know, I'm always talking about planning, and proper preparation prevents pitiful performance. You know, I got a saying for that. But there's so much that can be done and accomplished with planning. So you sit down with the calendar and you say, today's December 3rd. What do I want my holidays to look like? Do I want people to come by? Do I want to have an open house this year? What do I want to do? One year I did an open house for my kids, and I had them come by and wrap gifts, and we just had some desserts and, you know, beverages there. And I just said, I'm going to be home all day. And I was at a time when I was super busy. And so I gave them the gift of my time and a gift wrapping center where they could stop by and wrap gifts. And it forced them to do a little planning so that they could be ready on that day. But planning, you know, flip through magazines, if people still do that. Go online. I guess Pinterest is the new magazine and things like that. But plan, get ideas, and do something different. Shake it up this year, and plan what you want to do. Then number 2 is communication. Communicate early to your friends and family. If you are going to have an open house or you want to have something at your house, you know, my holidays got better when I quit trying to do it exactly on Christmas Day, because my kids all had in-laws and other family things, and it was just too much and too hard on everybody. And I found that if I could do it the day before or the day after, it was a better holiday. We were relaxed. They didn't have to run off to other places. They weren't trying to eat 2 dinners and all of this stuff. And it actually gave me an extra day. And I communicated that early so that everybody knew the plan. And I got people in the habit of talking about what they wanted to do and what their plans were. And I think a lot of times people don't communicate what their expectations are or what they want to do. And we just kind of get in a habit of assuming somebody should know. And I just think it's really important to communicate it early. How many times have we all said, if you had told me earlier, I could have planned it. Oh, gosh, I already have something on that day. So one of the keys to having a successful holiday is to communicate early with your family and your friends what your plans are, and find out if it works for them. And that's going to really help things go smoother. Number 3 is resources. Figure out what your resources are. Like, really, you know, figure out, how much do I have to spend? What can I spend? What can I do? Do I want to create a meal, and how can I do that? And who wants to help pitch in? You consider your resources. Like, I know everybody's got like bins of holiday things. Like, go through them and figure out. I know I'm not the only one that's like purchased things and then I find, oh, wow, I had like 6 bags of bows in this holiday box that I didn't look in, and now I bought more, you know. So take inventory, and just it gives you a good feeling of being in control and planning. And I think you'll find the peace that comes with that is quite rewarding. And we'll go to number 4, and then I'll take a break so we can go to commercial, Peter. And number 4 is research. And we can get online and Google research, make some new recipes. When you're communicating and you're planning and you're thinking about your outcome, you might call some friends or family and say, you know, I'm doing this thing. What's your favorite, you know, dessert? What's your favorite appetizer? And if they say, you know, red hot chicken dip or something, you how do you make that? You look it up, you Google, or you just figure out some things you might want to do. And I'm all about traditions. I love traditions, but I think it's important that we keep some traditions, but then we also make way for the new and create some new traditions, make some new memories. And you do that by doing research, looking on Pinterest and Googling. You type in Google the question, you know, like holiday ideas. appetizers or healthy foods that are fun, like different things. And just this kind of thing really starts to get your mindset, and you start to feel better about the holidays and everything you're doing. Now, Peter, I'll take a quick break so we can go to commercial.
There we go. We're going to be right back.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized website, MLM training, humongous blogs, the humongous classified ad network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
And we are back. Peter Mingils here with our favorite friend, Janine Avila. If you go to buildingfortunesradio.com/Janine, you'll be able to hear this all over again. Janine, back to you.
Thank you. Okay, so we talked about the 7 steps. 1, planning. 2, communication. 3, resources. 4, research. And number 5 is schedule. It's like, look at your schedule, figure out the things you have to do, you must do, and plan when you're going to do them, and then build in time for the fun stuff. Schedule in some time for yourself. Schedule time to take care of yourself, and schedule the event you want to have. And if you have somebody that it's just going to ruin it for you if they're not there. Like you have your whole heart set on it, contact that person and say, I'm thinking of having this thing on December 18th, and you have to be there because you're the life of the party. If they find out if they can be there, and then schedule it when they can be there. But other than that, my best advice is that you always schedule when it's best for you. Is it around a pay period? Is it at a time that works for you? Is there travel involved? And it's just really opening the calendar and looking at the schedule and then planning. And that's going to help you have a much more successful, happy holiday. I talked about it a little bit earlier, but number 6 is creativity. Get creative and don't just throw money at gifts. Like I said, think about things that people like. When you pay attention to people and you know what they love, what they do, what they listen to, what they read, who their favorite musician is. One of my grandkids told me once, I was like, I don't know what to get these kids. They're teenagers now. It was easy when they were little. And she said, this is my granddaughter, Casey, and she said, Grandma, you can never go wrong with iTunes gift cards. I said, okay. So I just find out from the kids things that they want, and I just try to be creative about it. And another thing you can do if you're on a budget, I don't know if they have Walgreens everywhere, but I'm pretty sure they do. CVS does the same thing. You can get pictures off your phone, especially if you're pinched for time. And this comes from being creative. This comes from me having periods in my life where I haven't had any money, but I've had a lot of love and a lot of creativity. And you can go in there and you can send pictures right off your phone on the app. You don't even have to go in there, you guys. All you do is get your phone, you download the Walgreens or the CVS app, and I don't get commissions on this, Peter. And you send it in there, and you can make a calendar. You can put a picture on a mug. You can do a mouse pad with a picture on it. One year in particular, I had some friends that got married that I loved very much, and I was really low on money that year. And so they had sent me some pictures of their marriage because they had just gotten married, and I quickly sent them to Walgreens, and for like under $15, I was able to make them a custom-made, really cool calendar with their pictures on it. And there's just so many things you can do. It just takes a little bit of creativity and effort. And those are thoughtful gifts that people always remember that you thought about them and you did it. I have a beautiful picture of my parents and myself that I just loved. It was one of my favorite pictures. I didn't say anything to her. My daughter just noticed it because I had it around in a little frame. I hadn't framed it or anything. I just had it propped up. And anyway, she took that picture and sent it to Walgreens and blew it up into like an 11 by 13, put it in a frame and gave it to me. And those are the kind of creative gifts that are so meaningful that I'd like to suggest that if you think you have to go to the mall and spend the most money on a gift and spend that time and get out there where everybody's coughing and sneezing and everything, you don't have to do that. 7, and I talked about the outcome, but if you've never done this before, I'd like you to really just try it. And it's just visioning your holidays. And it's just sitting down with your eyes closed and thinking about how you want it to be and seeing the outcome in your mind, in your mind's eye, like really picturing, the Christmas music, what's her name over here that starts with an A? All I have to do is tell her to play Christmas music and she starts in. Or whatever it is, and you can always, that's another thing. If you have an Alexa or an Echo, you can like, how long do I cook chicken wings in the air fryer? She'll tell you anything you want to know. You can use the technology to make the holidays easier and better. And you can just sit down and visualize it. And it's good for you to do. It's a good activity. And I bet if you've never done this before, you'll be absolutely shocked at you picture let's say right now I go sit down in my living room in my favorite chair and I start imagining how it's going to be, which the kids are what does the room look like? Are the candles lit? Is it Christmas tree? Have lights on it? Do I have popcorn strung? Do I have cards taped to the door? What are we doing? What does it look like? Are there games set out? What's missing? And I started doing this years ago when we were doing events, and we would kind of do a rehearsal in our mind, like, okay, people are walking up. What do they see? And this is, athletes do this. I know motocross racers do it. And you focus on the outcome. Good athletes know you walk the field. You check it out. And you can go there in your mind and imagine. And if you're in your mind looking around, you're like, oh, there's no gifts in it. Oh, I need gift wrap. And you'll cause yourself to think it through, and you'll think it through in advance. And again, remember, I started this out with my favorite corny little saying, prior proper preparation prevents pitiful performance. And the 7 steps, planning, communication, resources, research, scheduling, creativity, and visioneering. The good news is you see it first in your mind, and that's how it starts to happen. You think about the outcome and you communicate that clearly, first with yourself, then with everyone else. And what I'm happy to tell you that I guarantee you, if I was charging you for this advice, I'd say it's guaranteed money back, that it'll work, but it's not. It's free. Peter and I were just on here sharing our ideas. But what I want to tell you is these 7 steps that I just gave you will work in everything you do. They'll work in your business. They'll work in your life. They'll guarantee that you have a good holiday because you have put effort and creativity and planning in place. And if you don't have the perfect holiday, at least you'll have probably a better holiday than you would have had. It won't be a mess. It won't be a disaster. You'll have some planned activities. Holiday movies. Are there some favorite holiday movies you want to watch? I have a daughter-in-law in California that messaged me this week and said, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Well, of course, It's a Wonderful Life. If you know me, you know that. And she said, let's watch it together. Now, she's in California, so we're going to FaceTime, and we're going to watch the movie together and just spend time together because we can't really be all flying around right now. It's tough to travel during the holidays, even if there's not a pandemic going on. So anyway, that's what I had for tonight. I hogged the whole show, Peter, and I didn't give you a chance to say anything. I'm sorry. But I'll be quiet now, and I'll let you wrap it up.
That's great information. So let's make sure that people know how to find you. So how do they find you and then these previous radio shows as well?
Okay. You can go to, as Peter said, buildingfortunesradio.com/Janine, or I have a website, JanineAvila.com. And if you're on my mailing list and you get the notifications, if you look on the left-hand corner of the page, you'll see a whole section dedicated to Building Fortunes Radio, and you click the link and you'll see all the past shows. And if you are really wanting to have a fabulous 2021 that you plan, and whether your goals are better health or more time with your family or away from your family, or a better quality of life, or just more success in your business, or you just need some help and a good coach in your corner, that's my specialty. I love helping people turn their setbacks into success and really just enjoy working with people one-on-one. I have a coaching session. I got to be honest, I don't have a lot of time, so I can't take very many clients right now because I'm crazy busy, but that's a good thing. And but I do have room for some more clients right now. So if you are interested in that, you can go in and click that section on the website, or go to info@JanineAvila.com, send me an email, and sign up for my newsletter so you can get notices about the show. And I wish you a wonderful holiday, and we are probably going to take a couple weeks off during the holidays as well. So I just want to say happy holidays to you. Thanks for listening tonight. And if this show brought you value or was helpful to you, and you know somebody that could use it, forward it to a friend.
Excellent. Yep. So for those people listening in, you might hear this again because we might use this for replays on Building Fortunes Radio. Check her out. If you go to buildingfortunesradio.com/Janine, you'll be able to hear this. And I know, Janine, I've as I'm getting older and going through the phases, we went through the kids and the Christmas tree and when they were younger, and now they're older, and and then there's some of them are away, and some of them may be coming home, and some of them may miss it, and all that sort of stuff. We've really had to move and shake it with the punches. The one thing that I'm doing differently, only because I'm in that phase of my life, is because we might have all the kids here this year, we're going to do all the holidays we're going to do all the holidays we missed. So I bought extra pumpkins. So we're carving pumpkins. We're going to be doing Easter eggs. We're going to do Christmas.
Crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
Birthdays?
So
you got birthdays in there?
We'll do birthdays. We'll do all the things we know that we missed. So even though it's a little weird, some people might say, well, that's kind of goofy. I'm like, that's us,
Fabulous. Maybe
that
graduation parties. There were so many things people missed.
Everything we missed. Yep, everything we missed. So we're going to do that, and we're going to catch everybody next time on Building Fortunes Radio. If we miss you live, we'll catch you on the other side, 2021, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Janine, for being here. Thanks for the time that you spend with us. We'll catch everybody next time. Thanks.
Bye.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingils. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.